Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for attending the 2024 State of the City meeting this evening. I'm Dick Russ. I'll be the host of the program with His Honor the Mayor this evening. I've been a broadcaster here in Cleveland for many years, about 50 now, and you can hear me currently on Cleveland's Catholic radio station, AM 1260 The Rock, and maybe see some of the programs that I produce for EWTN, that's the Global Catholic Television Network. My family has a very strong connection. My wife Chris and I are members of the St. Josaphat Ukrainian Catholic Parish on State Road here in Parma. Our oldest son, was ordained a Ukrainian Catholic priest in that very cathedral some years ago. We have lots of family that lives here in Parma, do a lot of our business here in Parma, do our banking in Parma, shopping and all that sort of thing. So we're tied very closely with this wonderful city. Enough of that. So let's get on to the business at hand. Seated with me here on the stage, His Honor Tim DeGeeter, the 14th Mayor of Parma. Mayor, I want to thank you first for inviting me back to be part of your State of the City address.
Thank you, Dick, and thank you for doing it again. And I commented, last year it was so well received. Why we didn't think of doing it sooner, prior to one of my first, second, or third terms on it. So it's a great format, it's relaxing, and it's great just to talk about all things for Parma.
Yeah, and some of the things we're going to talk about, and I know throughout your administration, Mayor, you have made some things high priorities. Improving the quality of the life of the residents, supporting economic development, repairing the city's infrastructure, that's something important to so many folks, and preserving public recreational green space. Top priorities for the mayor and his administration, and we're going to be talking about those and other topics tonight. Tim also serves on many boards. We're going to discuss that a little later in this program. Mayor Tim DeGeeter earned his law degree in 1997 at the CSU College of Law, where he met his wife, Pam. They live obviously in Parma with their two children, Jack and Molly. Again, Mayor, thanks for inviting me to be part of this. It's a very important conversation because Parma's a big city, and what happens here and around Parma has impact on hundreds of thousands of people locally and throughout the state. We'll start our conversation.
So Dick, if I could just pause you for one second. First, before I forget, so I don't get in trouble when I go home tonight, let me just recognize my wife, Pam, that's sitting up front here. Our son, Jack, if you give them a round of applause. My daughter, Molly, is at club volleyball. She'll be rolling in here soon. She did say today earlier, like, Dad, do I got to go to your speech? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, why? And I go, you've grown up with this. Your entire life you've had to come to these speeches. So she'll be coming in a little bit later. And we have many elected officials here. Council members, please raise your hand. Thank you all for coming in attendance as well. I know our state representatives here as well. So you elected officials, thank you. Our law director is here. We got police chief, fire chief. We can talk about them later. But thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to come listen.
Okay, so a lot of topics on the agenda this evening, and we're going to start by talking about the services which the city offers senior residents through the Donna Smallwood Activities Center. That's where we are. So, Mr. Mayor, tell us about this place.
Sure. So as you know, in past State of the City addresses, we've always taken it outside on the road, showcased different partners. Tonight we're showcasing our senior center, and Director Aaron Lally, all the way in the back there. Thank you for everything that you do here. So, you know, looking back, we're coming up on the 4th year anniversary of COVID, and this place was one of the first things we closed down and one of the last ones to reopen. But we're really hitting great strides here. A lot of great programming. The center's open Monday through Friday. We do transportation. You saw buses parked out there when you came in. We take doctor's appointments, shopping for our seniors here in Parma. There's a lot of great partnership. This place eats, drinks, and breathes our city motto, progress through partnerships. Working with the library, Aaron's brought in a number of partners for technology, teaching seniors with technology as well. And there's great other partners, like the YMCA has a footprint here. We work with other senior centers. For example, just recently, Parma Heights Senior Center and ours competed in a chair volleyball tournament, and we have the trophy sitting here at our senior center as well. So some of the other things that happen, there's specialists on staff, clinical counselors, social workers, Medicaid experts, and again, fitness instructors. So as I said, as in its name, the key word here is activities. And let me just point out some 2023 numbers, because we're really, really proud of this fact. Nearly 25,000 came to the center. More than 22 meals were delivered. More than 10,000 lunches were served here, and more than 8,600 rides were provided. It's a busy place.
That's really important, providing rides for seniors who don't have alternate transportation, for medical or whatever it happens to be. Huge.
Which without a doubt, and that's one of the great services among many that we provide here. And then they also have fun. They've gone downtown for plays, they've done other things, and really been innovative. So we're really proud of the work up here. And I love driving by, seeing cars in the parking lot. It was full. I'll get a text from the director saying, broke another record number today. And then when I come up here, it's great because everybody, I see smiling faces that I know, like this young lady over there smiling at me. Everybody seems to be in a good mood, so it puts me in a good mood as I go back down the hill to City Hall.
Yeah, when I walked in, I chatted with Aaron about, what a kind of a welcoming place it is and how it's always busy, and especially on a nice day when folks can get out and come here and be together.
Without a doubt, lots of parties.
All right, Mayor, I know you sit on a number of boards, important work. The Northeast Ohio, well, you're on the executive board of the Northeast Ohio First Suburbs Consortium, right?
Yep.
The Ohio Mayor's Alliance and the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. You're also on the board of the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency. Folks know that as NOACA. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment. In addition to the things that a mayor has to do. Highlight for us, would you, in this State of the City address, some of the work that you do on these various boards and how it ties in to the work here in the city of Parma.
Sure. I'd like to highlight two. First would be the Ohio Mayor's Alliance, and then the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District is a board of trustee member on it. But let me just say this before I dig down in that. Mayors collaborate all the time. Dispel the myth that, yeah, you run your own city, but there's a lot of crossover, connections, relationships. I tell people there's 4 types of people. There's Democrats, Republicans, independents, and mayors are the ones that get the stuff done. Since 2012, former Mayor Delaquilla, current state representative, started a mayor's breakfast. And that's Southwest County communities. This coming Friday, Parma Heights Mayor Gallo is hosting hers. So it's a great way to get together, commiserate, collaborate, and just enjoy each other's company. So having said that, I do want to recognize Carrie McCarthy, who's here. Carrie came up from Columbus. I've known Carrie for a long time, back at her days in the State House, which seems like a lifetime ago. Carrie was chief of staff when we had the majority. But his current role is he's the executive director of the Ohio Mayor's Alliance. And that's the top 20, 30 populous cities. It's Columbus-based. It's given us a great dialogue with the governor's office, with the governor, with our state lawmakers. We have a legislative luncheon in the atrium each spring, end of the year, overnight meetings. And it's a really, really great voice. And I was there from the beginning. It's one of the things I'll reflect when I'm finished as mayor, the work that I was able to work and do with other mayors. And the organization started in 2016. Many of the mayors that started with are no longer with us, either termed out, moved on to other things. But Mayor Ginther is one. He's one of the more original ones as myself, so I look around, I'm like, man, I'm the old guy in the room. But it does great work, and Mayor Bibb joined when he became mayor, yeah. And that was an important thing. So we've got all the big cities, it's a bipartisan group, and I think we're really reflective, and it's because of the leadership with Kerry and his staff and working together and finding common themes.
Yeah, you have to work together. I mean, just because the city ends at the border or at an intersection doesn't mean the issue obviously doesn't overlap somewhere else.
Without a doubt, and that's key for us, our staff. I have great directors. I let directors direct, and we live our city motto, progress through partnerships, every day. And having said that, I also want to turn to the work that I do as a Board of Trustee member with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. I see we have Nicole here. I see Kyle. Kyle, raise your hand. She's phenomenal, runs the shop. And Matt Shriver, who's head of our stormwater, I thought I saw him walk in somewhere. He's shy. He didn't want to raise his hand real loud. But they do phenomenal work. With the stormwater management, we have a board meeting twice a month, go downtown to Euclid. And it's a really phenomenal board. Mayor Jack Bocci from Cuyahoga Heights serves on it, Mayor Sam Alai. And it's just it's a good board that's getting stuff done, that's solving problems in here on it. And, you know, beyond our precious asset, Lake Erie, they're doing great things. I've told people I love lakes, just not in people's basements, Dick.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about, you know, the sewer district, and you mentioned, you know, flooding. What are the projects that have been undertaken, and what's the status of those to alleviate flooding in some parts of the city?
Yeah. So let me say this: the sewer district on the regional system, ones that they're in charge of, they are investing right now either completed construction, upcoming construction, or design engineer, $32 million within our city. And that's huge, because I can remember back when we'd have flooding, you and I talked about this before. Yep. You know, we'll have a torrential downpour. Residents will call the news media. They'll come interview those residents, and they'll come to me and say, Mayor, what do you say to these folks? And for a number of years, I'm saying it's coming. There's projects coming.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was part of that years ago, even, you know, preceding your terms as mayor.
Mayor DePiro told me.
Okay.
So let me just go through some of these, because I think they're really important to walk through and highlight. So the Big Creek Upper Ridgewood Basin, which is Zielinski Park, that's been completed. That's a $3.6 million project, and it fits in nicely with our park. It'll capture additional stormwater. With the work of council and with our partner like the Cuyahoga County Library next door, there's a story walk board that'll be included on that, walkways, benches. It's already attracted a number of birds and whatnot over there. So we are leaving the fence up. Right now it's fenced in. We'll let it get greened up here in the spring, late spring. We'll remove that. And then in August, with our partner, We Are Proud of Parma, in August for their party in the park, we'll do some type of ribbon cutting on that. So next, also this one just recently completed. This is a Big Creek flood reduction near Sprague Road. That's a $1.4 million project that was started last fall, and that will help reduce flooding in our border of North Royalton and Parma off Sprague. Okay. And that one's completed. This one is a $2.3 million project. This is the Baldwin Creek Bonnie Banks Basin. And I see our former service director, Brian Higgins, out there. And prior to when the stormwater management program was finalized and some communities challenged that, went to the Supreme Court, way back when, we had our own service workers out there trying to do some things over there and to just make some channels, cut some dredging over there. And I just point that out to see how far we've come. They've dredged that. Now this project, this will add 2.1 to the existing 4-acre basin, adding additional capacity over there as well. And that construction is supposed to start this quarter of this year. And then this next project I'd like to highlight is a $6.5 million project, and that's the Baldwin Creek Delhaven Basin. And this is over by Pleasant Valley in York, and I've said this in the past, and it's worth repeating. When we get these torrential rains, if I'm driving west on Pleasant Valley and just coming over Cresta Hill, and I see blue and red lights from our police department, knowing that road's closed, I know we're going to be in for a long day and a long next couple days.
Yeah, people are picturing that now because it has happened.
So that one, they've acquired property from our schools, from Holy Name Church over there. So that's a big one, and there's some other things we'll highlight that go in conjunction. All these are pieces of the puzzle to fix and solve flooding as well. This one is a $11 million project, and will restore capacity to cover a 100-year storm. Mayors don't like using that because the 100-year storm is probably twice a year on these. But that's the Big Creek restoration on Ridge Road, and that is restoring wetland restoration, floodplain, stream alignment, bank stabilization, and that's helping out a number of additional homes over in that area. And then one I've been waiting for, is the West Creek Veterans Base, and that's a 4.91. That's similar to what you've seen over at Zielinski Park. That's our Veterans Park. A number of years ago, we drained that, increased capacity, and that's helped on it. The sewer districts had a number of public meetings at our watershed center getting input. So you're going to see a similar green infrastructure project there. That construction will start late this year, but that'll only enhance our park and its amenities and settings with benches, walkways, and whatnot. So the sewer district's been great to work with our staff, our administration, with City Council. So we're really proud of that.
And you're back to this cooperative, aspect of being the mayor, that you sit on the boards and you work with the various agencies, and together, it's tough to solve geography, when the water just goes where it goes. And so you said $32 million worth of projects. And you've got some things going on at the local level too, right? Catch basins and smaller scale, but very important in the daily lives of the residents.
Without a doubt, it all ties back to the quality of life. Those small things help with the bigger things, and it all ties together. So utilizing our community cost share money, and that's the 25% set aside for local communities from the stormwater program. We've completed nearly 600 catch basins rebuilt, and those are catch basins that are in our roads at the curbs. We have 5,000 of them plus in the city throughout, but systematically making sure those are clean, repaired, fixed, open helps with it. And then this one is another one where cases where homes would not be able to be built today because they're built on a floodplain, and many of those are over at Pleasant Valley. And that's another piece going with that Del Haven basin that I was telling you about. So working with the West Creek, and I see Derek's here as well, and the sewer district, and then our own local community, our administration was able to obtain a $1.6 million FEMA grant to help, and this is voluntarily, but along York all the way to Ann Arbor on the south side, those homes are built in floodplains. So anything's open for that, again, fair market value. And I love when I get the agenda for the sewer district and look down on property acquisitions and seeing Parma's being listed with permanent parcel numbers along there. So we are up to 32 homes that are in different stages of getting what will happen is demolished and restore that floodplain land. And again, that will help alleviate everything around there. So again, I want to stress that it's a voluntary program.
Okay, so from water, let's go to roads, maintaining roads. One of the biggest aspects for people, whether they live in the city, drive through, do business, whatever it happens to be. And big concern for a mayor, right? And I'm sure you get plenty of information from residents and people coming through about roads. Now, we had a mild winter. Look, here, it's February, and it was 60-something degrees today. But we will see orange barrels soon. I mean, there's some out there already, and you'll see them throughout Northeast Ohio all spring and all summer. So let's recap. What were the major road projects for 2023, and what's on your agenda for this year?
Right, so we call those orange barrels progress. And I don't know if I did this last year, but the mayor has a life cycle of a road. It's one of those you get banged on. Mayor, fix the roads, and then you go out, engineer, our partners find funding, and then we go out and start construction. They have those orange barrels, and they complain that I can't get to work on time. We're saying, just give us some time, we'll get there. And then you complete the road, and it's nice and it's smooth. And then the next call, council people will get her to the mayor's office saying, can you get special attention by the police department? Everybody's speeding down that smooth road, and then it crumbles, and that completes the life cycle of a road.
Right. And maybe the life cycle of a mayor, right?
Right. There you go, too. There you go, too. So I like reminding people, residents, anybody out there, Parma's is Ohio's 7th largest city. That was my talking point back even when I was in the Ohio House. Our city engineers, Patel, who's here, and his staff are great at securing funding for infrastructure. Last year, they got more than $10 million in grants funding for stormwater, sewers, and roads. So with roads, last year we saw the completion of the 11.9 widening of Sprague Road. That took some time. That included sanitary, stormwater, and new water lines going through there. And I just drove through there today. Starting to see grass grow on the tree lawns again after dropping Molly off, who did arrive here for volleyball. So that one's completed, and that was between 130th and York. And then last year we got part of Brook Park done. That's a 4-member community project that is Parma, Brooklyn, Cleveland, and Brooklyn Heights. They went from 130th to State, and then they'll start this spring State going to Brooklyn Heights to 480 exit over there. And then just recently announced is a county project to repair Snow Road between State and Broadview, and that's going to be divided in phases to Ridge to State and then State going eastbound, and that's under design now. I would like to say too, we continue to lobby with our partners at the county government. There's 2 ones that are on my radar, and it's working with those folks trying to get stuff done, and that includes phase 2 of Ridgewood between State and Broadview, right at the entrance of our beautiful Metro Park, and then north of Snow, 54th Street. We could use some assistance with that. So we'll continue to work with our county councilman, Mike Byrne, over there. He's smiling at me, shaking his head. He's going to get it done for us, and working with Chris Ronayne as well. But that's how we get stuff done, is having those relationships and being able to work with our partners. And then again, our service department, we've been very aggressive the last few years, been able to provide additional funding to our local roads. And we're going to go with another $5 million project capacity for our capital budget, like we did last year. And we're looking at about 40 roads, I believe, on that. And people are noticing.
Residential streets.
Residential
right?
streets,
Okay.
neighborhood streets. And people are noticing that. I hear that when I'm out. Even Mayor Sam Alai, who went to Normandy, grew up over here, had commented on me one time prior to a sewer board district meeting, mentioning that. So we're really proud of that, hitting home runs, getting stuff done at the local level. So that's so important. Getting into those neighborhoods beyond the home runs we've been hitting with main streets.
All right, and Cleveland Water, you have some infrastructure projects with them as well, cooperative things, right?
So a number of years ago, we joined the Suburban Water Main Program. You can apply twice a year. Since joining, we have gotten grant allocations from there. Some of these are replacing 100-year-old water lines in the north side. So we're hitting home runs on that. So wanted to point that out, that how successful our local engineering department's been.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of infrastructure work, right? From water to roads to everything. How can people monitor or keep up with the progress on any one of these projects?
Yeah, so great question, and there's flyers over by the water, ironically, for what's called World Water Day, and that was formerly called our Water Summit that was started by council a number of years ago.
World Water Day.
World Water Day, and that's going to be at our wonderful Watershed Center. That date is March 23rd. And that brings all those community partners I just talked about, and with our Metro Park. And it's fun for all activities. Last year we moved it there, hit a home run. You can come there, learn about these projects in detail. The sewer district will be there, West Creek will be there answering questions, and there's fun activities for kids.
Yeah, I remember last year having heard advertising for that too, and it did turn out to be a successful event.
Without a doubt, one of our best ones. So it's, again, tying in with these other entities, doing it and being a partner, and it makes it a bigger, more fun event for everybody.
Okay, so last February, a lot of you were here, and we talked about what was the Recreation Department's biggest project, the new event center at the golf course. We could talk about that at length, but first, quickly, what else is going on in terms of recreation?
Sure. So last year we completed new playground equipment in 3 of our basically neighborhood parks that needed upgrade. Those playground equipment, the purchase of it was supplemented by a capital budget grant that we got allocation from the state. We've been very successful in the past getting that for our rec department. And then we also installed 2 new pickleball courts. And I got to say this, we were one of the first communities to do pickleball. Trying to find Mickey, he's sitting in the back there, and Brian Higgins, who was service director. Neither of us knew what the hell pickleball was when Mickey came to us, and I could show you some tweets sometime later on moving on that for the
I'm telling you, pickleball's popular right now. It really is. People, you're right, 10 years ago it was just kind of starting, but people of all ages now. Yeah. It's not just like,
I think we have 5 courts now, Mick. Is that right? 5 courts. So we were ahead of it. And they're used. I mean, there's a senior app, staying connected. So it's always great when you drive by and they're right behind our wonderful ice rink and seeing them utilized.
Yeah. Who'd have believed it, right?
Without a doubt.
Here we are. Okay, so the event center. This was super big news. Golfers are excited about this, but this is not just golf, right? This is bigger than golf.
Without a doubt. So just last Tuesday, and you'll see the renderings over on the table over there, and I encourage everybody when the talk's done to come take a look. But our architect, Structure Point, Higley team, our owner's rep, all made a presentation to City Council. And I said at that council meeting, I rewound a little bit because we talked about having the Citizens Committee back in 2019, and we were ready to roll on it, had the members, and then obviously we know what happened in 2020, it had paused. So this goes back, 5 years, and to see how far we've come, during that period where we have renderings. And yes, it's for golfers and non-golfers alike. And it's been real, at least what I've seen on social media, mostly great positive feedback on it. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. It's a 15 plus 15,000 square foot facility, and it'll have 2 main features. One, on one side, the event center holds up to 180. You can subdivide the room and to make it smaller. And then on the golf side, we will have simulators. We have a grill. We have an outdoor patio, nice gathering space for our community, a pavilion that will utilize whether you want to be outside or inside for golf outings. We think it's going to be a home run, and I really applaud the team, Structure Point, Higley, Owner's Rep, and Tony Vanella, Mickey, and that folks to get that at a $12.3 million cost on that. And there's another $1.7 million in soft costs. We're looking to go do bond legislation. There was a meeting today with the law department, administration on that. So that'll be forthcoming, being presented to council. So we're excited about it. Again, outdoor entertainment space, large areas for, open areas for large gatherings, covered patio, pavilion. And what the key thing is, as a team went through to design this and put this, we want to make it a revenue generator year-round. And the course is fantastic. It's a gem in the middle of our city, so we only think this will enhance it. So we look forward to have it completed by 2025, July 4th, when the course turns 100. And as you and I talked earlier, maybe later that year in the fall, we do the 2025 version of the State of the City over there.
That would be
great.
I
still owe you a round of golf over there.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that, Mr. Mayor. You have that great asset in the golf course and the land there, and a lot of, people, what they want to do tends toward that, gathering, whether you golf or not. And when you make it an event center and have these other amenities that you just described, I think those are the things that will bring people to it, whether they golf or not.
Without a doubt. And we are part of Parma, has done Frosty Fest for a number of years, moving that over there. Other events there. It's just inviting, and I point to the second one in, a rendering. It just captures you want to be there. It overlooks what will be the 18th hole. And eventually what we want to do as well, working with Northeast Ohio Sewer District, our own engineers, water feature possibly, and that will be One, to capture stormwater.
Yeah.
Two, to have a nice aesthetic water feature, and then help maybe defray our water bill to watering the course. So it's
Yeah.
a nice trifecta for us. So
Okay.
that will come after the fact, but those are things that we're working on, looking at, and trying to get to.
Okay, let's stay for a minute on the sewer district theme. You were talking about conservation when we talked about some of these sewer projects. What other environmental initiatives did you undertake in the year just passed?
Yeah, so I did recognize Derek Schaefer over there. Raise your hand, Derek. He's got the cap on. Never seen him in a tie. Love him. Love working with him and his team at West Creek Conservancy. And the Conservancy protects and restores green space, and they connect people to nature. Even though his office headquartered here, they are beyond Parma, but Parma is first in their heart, right? So, and I want to say too, I have a strong affiliation personally with the West Creek. Back in the 90s, I was at the kitchen table helping write the ballot language to put that, to create that preserve. And then my wife and I just this past year started doing hikes in the West Creek, and I comment like, "Hey, I helped create this. I helped create this," and she just shakes her head and like she normally does. So some of the things that they've done, projects that we've worked in. He's a great partner, and he's even copied my Progress Through Partnerships hashtag all over his social media, but we're not complaining about that. We embrace that. We love that. But Stearns Native Nursery at our Stearns Homestead, growing native trees, and that was part of a county grant we collaborated with Derek and his team on. So we've got a 1.5 acre field cleared for trees to grow. And then he was very helpful with us for another grant that we received from the county, a $115,000 tree grant, which was awarded last year, and that will be used to plant over 150 trees to reforest Walters Grove Park on that. So we're trying to do our part on that. And then two other projects like the highlight that Derek did, and that's both the Padua Park, soccer fields, and Parmadale. Both those were transferred, those properties were transferred last December to the Metro Parks. And that added 100 acres to our reservation in Parma, which then helped put the Cleveland Metro Parks over 25,000 acres of green space. So that's huge for us. One of the things we partner with our county, our former county councilman and former county exec, getting a $1 million grant to remove the structures at Parmadale. I remember getting a text from Derek like on a Friday at 5 saying, "Hey, what do you think? We try to find a grant somewhere." And said, "Let's put it in motion." And sure enough, it happened. He's got the golden touch. And then if you drive where the Parma soccer fields were on Ridgewood, they've completely restored that. There was a lot of construction going on over there, a lot of people wondering. He did mailers, we pushed it out there in the community, and that, with that, it expands the West Creek Reservation's trail network and allows for future connection to the Cuyahoga Valley National Park and towpath, and again, protects natural resources. And then finally, there's a really unique project he's working in. It's a new partner project, and it's the Footpath House on Pleasant Valley. And I know Councilman Schuman was helpful with the neighbors, but the Footpath Foundation connects children to nature through camping, hiking, outdoor activities. And this is all being done on a large wooded lot, single-family ranch home. And it's an excellent collaboration. And Derek brings these home runs to us, constantly, and we're really proud to partner with him and his team.
Well, that's one of the kind of new and growing recreational activities for families, hiking and camping. I mean, and you can do it out in the woods, way out somewhere in the country, but it can happen in the city as well if you plan it out right and think about it and do it like the footpath.
With that, and then, there was also, we have a great trail that overlooks Cleveland, great bridge that shows a great view of the Cleveland skyline. There's also mountain bike trails throughout there, and it's just great to get in nature, take a walk on a Saturday morning or a Sunday, and enjoy that wonderful gem that we have here in Parma.
All right. We're going to turn now to public safety. And no matter what city you live in or drive through, that is an issue that is of paramount importance to virtually everyone. Many cities have experienced staffing shortages, police and fire. They've gotten a rise in emergency calls. Equipment costs a lot more, all these things. How many of these challenges are being experienced here in Parma?
So Parma's, I would say, while our number of applicants have come down, like other Ohio cities and in the nation, I do say and very proud that we are highly staffed, highest level we've been in a number of years, both in our police and our fire department. Before getting to some of the equipment and whatnot, I do want to recognize our new police chief, Jim Blair. Jim, raise your hand. Was just selected on Thursday. Let's give him a round of applause. So I want to thank our prior chief for his years of service. Looking forward to working with Jim, the command staff. I see Captain Zarsnetchi's joined him as well here. Appreciate that. So let me talk a little bit fire. Fire last year, they're very good at going out trying to get grants. They received a $770,000 grant so they could hire 5 additional firefighters last year. Last year in the police department, we hired 5 new ones, 4 of them females, bringing our total number to 11, which is the highest it's been in the department. And last week, this was proud for me as not only as mayor, but also a father to a daughter. First female SWAT officer was named to the team. So really proud of that. And 2 things, as you talked about, demand and equipment. We'll go into demand a little bit. We put a 5th ambulance into service to account for that demand and do less jump service. But we're getting a lot of increased numbers of emergency calls, and that's an increase of flu. Nursing homes are almost at capacity. We have a number of those here in Parma. And people aren't waiting to get into the doctor's office or using 911 or going to the emergency room. I know we have representatives from UH here as well. Also proud of the fact that our voters last November approved a renewal for our fire levy that helps offset costs, equipment costs. And then lastly, one of our community partners, a Rotary Club, donated funds to our police department to add a 5th canine on that. And those are the most favored officers at our ward safety meetings on there. Oh, yeah. So the public loves our canine unit.
Great public relations with the canine officers. Yeah. Let's pivot now and talk about the local economy. Mayor DeGeeter, what kind of growth are you seeing? What kind of new businesses have planted themselves here in Parma over the last year?
Yeah, we're seeing signs of growth coming out of 2020 and all that. And part of it we recognize, and I know members of the chamber are here, if you could raise your hand. I saw them, thank you. And we know because we have new business openings, ribbon cuttings, they've joined the chamber. So I would say for us, it was a year of stabilization or growth in all our sectors within our economy, but mostly stabilization, which I appreciate. One of the things that we've done and like to do with council, our administration has recognized businesses that have been here. Just this past month, Council and I recognize Illusions Unlimited Salon on Broadview Road, celebrating 60 years. Wow. And I think you have a connection somehow.
Oh yeah, my wife was going to Illusions Unlimited for, I mean, a long time, a very long. It's a beautiful place, and I know everyone, family members that went there were very well satisfied with it. So 60 years.
60
really?
years. So
wow.
That's something to celebrate. Those, not just big businesses, but the small ones.
It's nice to know, that you're appreciated, right?
Without a doubt.
And that the city knows you're here and doing business.
And we did that across the street too with the owner of Parma Tavern. They'll be celebrating 20 years, which just blows my mind, in business there on Broadview Road. So manufacturing, we're proud of GM, continue to invest. There was a short strike last year. We were holding our breath for a while there, in communication with both management and the men and women of UAW over there. So I'm glad that it wasn't prolonged. They're back to work, and really proud of that GM. plant. I drive a GMC Acadia as my personal vehicle. All our vehicles through the city are GM. Proud of UH Parma Medical. They continue to provide award-winning service. One of our biggest employers is UH, and then also we have a second footprint with Metro. So we have 2 emergency rooms, and I'm really proud of that fact. You only have to look back to what happened with Lakewood a number of years ago when they lost their hospital. So the fact that we have 2, that's just a great selling point. And UH right behind us with everything that they do, we're grateful for.
Well, last week I drove by City Hall and I saw that message.
Well, before we get there, just a couple more, Donna. So
I wanted to ask you about this.
I got a
couple
couple new ones, out there. So, as you know, at the heart of Ukrainian Village, Discount Drug Mart opened, and as you know, it saves you the runaround.
The development of that building out there was like a tourist attraction for a long time.
Without a doubt. So, been over there a couple times already and got a discount drug card as well. But Corey Square, which is the Plaza on Snow Road, Broadview, some big changes coming there. They've Chipotle, a Five Below. There's going to be an urgent care open there and a Ross Dress for Less. And I'm excited to announce this one because we received just, I think, last week plans. They'll be going to planning, not this month, but next month. But the former Save-A-Lot, which is just up here on Ridge, Blockway, new Aldi's coming, which is huge.
Okay.
See, look at there's a little buzz out there about that. New Aldi's at the old Save-A-Lot. Yeah, I figured you would.
And the Quarry Square, I mean, they did such a beautiful job, with the parking lot and the trees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's really picking up.
Yeah, we're really proud of that plaza as well, and they're doing great. And we're hoping fill some vacancies in some other retail centers. We're also nothing announcement yet, but hopefully also over at the YMCA property. And we have a really pro-business attitude within our administration. So we work with you, we will sit down with you. So when you do come to planning, it's pretty much, know what to expect. And we're out there constantly talking with different folks and developers or retailers coming here. So I'm really proud of what we've done, and also with the Shops at Parma first term, seeing everything that's become as well. So excited for that. And then just highlight a few restaurants too. We have so many more culinary options like Latin American, Asian, Indian food. One of my favorites, au jus, Chicago Italian beef sandwiches, very popular over there on Broadview Road. I try to send people over there. And then just a couple weeks ago, long-awaited, Cozumel's opened up on Snow Road, so you can go get your margaritas here in town. And I feel like, with our local bakeries, everything that we have, we're become kind of like a foodie town. So whenever there's top 25 bakeries, restaurants, whatnot, we're being listed.
Yeah,
so
I'd agree with that. I mean, sure, there's so much, diversity, like in the types of food you can get here and from different parts of the world and so on. Why not? And it's good stuff. Okay, so now we good to talk about when I drove by?
Oh yeah, we're ready. We're around in third, heading for home here.
I see the sign and it said, Parma selected by livability.com as one of the best places to live in the United States in 2023. I said, okay, that's great. And I was thinking, do you have to pay for that? You campaign for it or apply or something, right? How does that happen?
Sure. So,
I'm not saying I don't disagree with it, but I'm just kind of curious how that happened. That's great.
I appreciate that. I appreciate noting our digital sign at City Hall. It's actually, we now have 3. We have one at the Justice Center, at the Rec Law building, and then now at City Hall. So, no, we didn't have to pay for it, or campaign. They actually contacted us after we made the list, and here's what they did. They looked at about 2,000 cities between the population of 75,000 and a half mil. Okay. Parma were about 81.5, and what they looked at, the ranking is based on economy, cost of living, safety, healthcare, education, environment, services, and we touched upon a lot of those tonight. Yeah. And I'm proud to say Parma and Cincinnati are the only two Ohio cities that were named, and we were 35th on the list of 100. Yeah. In fact, after we were recognized, former Mayor John Cranley reached out to me and mentioned how both those cities were run by the John Carroll University grad, which made me smile. But here in Parma, you know, I say we're the 7th largest city, but it is a tight-knit community. You know that, Dick. Yeah. A lot of people stay here. Yeah. I love it when I hear residents who bought their first starter home in the north side, then as their family grows, they grow to a bigger home, but they stay in Parma. They don't hop over to that, you know, southern border, you know, crossing Sprague, but they stay here. And that's what we're about, and that's reflective in we are proud of Parma and all the great things they do, and all the good things that happen in our city.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Well, Mayor DeGeeter, I think we've covered about everything that we set out to in this State of the City 2024. Lots of information shared for everyone this evening. Anything before we conclude that you want to add?
Just some thanks. So first of all, thank you for doing this again.
Oh,
and
pleasure.
We will make it to Ridgewood instead of 9. Now it's bumped up to 18.
Okay.
I want to thank the schools and Jack Tibbetts. And I saw Charlie Smilak, our superintendent here. Thank you for being here, for recording and the sound system. Lydia over at Rudy's for the pastries. Please make sure you grab some. We don't want to have any leftovers. To Erin, Director Lally, and her center for hosting us. Service Department for helping up with the stage and the room setup. Our sign shop, definitely please go take a look over at the event center renderings. Communication Director Carolyn Kovac for organizing this event. All the elected officials that are attending and everybody else who spent tonight with us. So thank you, and God bless Parma.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.